Hello, I'm Yilda Sethi at Crazy Normal for better health and well-being. I'm a psychotherapist, author and founder of Rapid Core Healing, Emotional Mind Integration, PTIT Trauma Recovery, and a family constellations practitioner in promoting better ways of working with the mind. I'm inspired to dispel myths and lay out facts about your mind and relationships and mental health. And I'd like you to join me in an exploration of what it is to be a crazy normal like me. But do it in your own way so you can be free to be you. Well, welcome to Crazy Normal for better mental health and well-being. I have a really fascinating guest here today, Danny Pryp. You may or may not have heard of him. He's a man of many talents and somebody developing lots of areas of his life as well, which is fantastic. I'm going to put you over to Danny now, introduce himself and how he got to be here in Australia at this time. So over to you, Danny.
Hello, everyone. My name is Danny Pryp. So my story, it's human and complex and varied. So I'm Venezuelan, but my family is Ukrainian and Castilian from the north of Spain and mixed with Venezuelan and Spanish Colombian, which was my grandmother, who then we found out that she was adopted. So then we don't know. I came here to study when I was 19 years old, 26 years ago, and I studied accounting and finance. At the same time, I studied opera and acting, and then I studied later on film directing and film producing, so I do many things. And I am also, as I just said, multi-ethnic, and I see myself as not in my artistic career, I have been first an opera singer, then a music theater singer, then a classical crossover, like in the style of Il Divo, and then went into pop, and now I do urban pop, which is like reggaeton mixed with pop. Reggaeton being, for those who don't know, it's like the most predominant type of music that exists in Latin America and the Spanish-speaking world, and that has taken the world by surprise and has made Spotify being listened to more in Spanish than in English. And it's a big kind of musical movement, but it's pelvic thrusting rhythms.
Yes.
And so I changed my artistic name from Daniel Alejandro to Danny Pryp, and I now sing reggaeton, or what is known as urban pop.
Now, I didn't know about reggaeton or urban pop at all, but I have listened to your latest music. Really, really, great beat, great music, great sound. Can't understand the language, but it actually doesn't matter because the music is so hypnotic in itself that you kind of get drawn into it. So it kind of doesn't matter at all. So you came to Australia originally then for study from Venezuela, and it sounds like you've been on a big journey of all sorts of things. What were the key people in your life or the key points in your life that made a big difference, made you make new choices? Because you've had to make many choices all the way through, haven't you? And
yes.
From my own experience too, I've had made many choices. And for some people, they might think, oh, was that a mistake? And for me, none of my choices have been mistakes because they've all added to the next and the next and the next. How is that for you, Danny?
Well, that's a very interesting question. I have to mention that by the time I have a very particular upbringing. My dad died when I was 2 in a plane crash. And then we moved back with my mom's family, which is the Ukrainian and Spanish side. And by the time I moved here, I also partly moved because I had basically a life of bullying in Venezuela. Venezuela being a very rich but very third world mentality place. Also, at the time that I moved, I had foresight that the person that was elected, Hugo Chavez, was going to become a left-wing dictator, which then eventually happened, and he ruined the economy. And I have had an experience, a sense of loss, because my both families had big fortunes that basically got completely decimated by the destruction of the Venezuelan economy.
Right.
So I also have a very unique, I've been plagued by family inheritance issues and by family transgenerational trauma. And that has shaped a lot of my life. So your question is, this is what well, I guess you have to be more specific. Do you want me to speak about the decisions I made artistically or the decisions I made overall in my life? Because
Well, overall,
artistically is simpler.
yeah,
But the
overall in your life is important because I know the artistic is where you are now, and that's where you want to develop. And yet, at another level, we have to pay our rent, we have to pay our bills, we have to, and often artists have to have a double life because they need to fund their art, don't they? Particularly initially, right? Is that kind of how it is?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Artists need to find, most artists, it is a privileged few. We're talking 0.1% that are the people that live out of singing. It's maybe 1%, and the Beyoncés and Michael Jacksons and Madonnas and Taylor Swifts is 0.001, you know? So those are kind of the people that people see, you know, and they expect that just because you're an artist, you're automatically there. But it's a very difficult, it's probably for me, the artistic life, the artistic desire, and the artistic burning desire to achieve that level of success is probably the most difficult career choice in life, if not the most difficult thing in life. Not only in all of life. Some people compare it to being an athlete. But if you're an athlete and you run, you just have to run. Whilst artists have to sing, dance, TikTok, Instagram, public perception, plus what no one talks about, that it is the immense personal cost of the unwavering commitment you have to this process. Like it, you know, many people are known, very famous artists have said that it is a very jealous mistress. And absolutely, it's an incredibly jealous mistress. It is something that is enslaving if you want to survive. And nonetheless, and it takes a very particular type of people to get it. And I don't know whether people are aware of that level. Now, in terms of overall my decision making in my life, I have to say, you know, the first thing that comes to mind is something very deep, which is all my family issues. Was that a decision? Yeah, ultimately it was. I could have just disengaged, you know, technically, but wasn't within my. I am technically capable of doing, but I'm not technically. I'm not able to do it. I am not. It doesn't sit well with me to go. Sure, you stole my inheritance. I'm just going to look the other way and continue with my life. Or sure, my mother went bipolar and crazy and can't maintain herself. I'll just let her do her thing and destroy her life and look the other way. It's not that easy.
No.
Or sure, yeah, I'm going to pretend I don't come from a wealthy background that lost everything. Or sure, I'm not going to pretend that that has no bearing in my life. Things have bearing, and you know, obviously, these are another topic and another taboo is the type of issues that I've had are often, I feel that I'm put in a corner and thrown stones at. I'm being stoned just by speaking up because, oh my God, you're so privileged, you know, so you can't have any, that means that you have no problems and life was rosy. And I don't go by that either. I think it's also a very profound lack of compassion. Obviously, I realize that other people have it a lot worse. People in Gaza have a lot worse. And yes.
So I was just listening to all the conflicts you've had in your life. All sounds like you've had lots of conflicts right from birth all the way through to now, socially, family, career-wise, lots and lots of conflicts. And you decided fairly early on, Danny, that you weren't going to turn your back on them. You were going to face them, and you were somehow going to come to the best place you can with them. Is that kind of what you're saying? So
Absolutely.
that's a very mature attitude. that most people don't take. Many people, it's easier, as you said, to turn your back and just think, no, this is not mine. I don't need to look at this. But actually, you've taken it all on by the sound of it.
I've taken it all on. And right now in my life, I'm just seeing the price that that has had on my personal life.
All right.
But it is so intense that my desire for cleanness and ending the issues is, it was difficult for me to, I used to kind of be very difficult, like very tough on myself. I don't do enough, I don't rehearse enough, I don't do blah 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 blah. And the reality for me too, recently I realized that actually my predominant priority has never been the artistic, even though that's what I tell myself. It's been being safe, because I come from such an unsafe environment.
Yes.
Because, you know, people in Venezuela's a very aggressive, used to be much more aggressive place. Now it's much better, but it used to be a very aggressive place. I was very bullied, and my dad died, and I felt a constant sense of danger. So security for me translates into money, and that's one level. But then there's another one that I recently came to realize that it's another priority for me. It's to clean is a big word for me, but end the family craziness, because my life has been so run by the craziness of both families that I need stability and rationality. And I need to put an end, to say, this happened, I did this, it is over. Because part of my family's tendency is that it's never over.
And
So
so,
for me, it needs to be over.
in a sense, you're deciding now to be autonomous. You're deciding to, okay, this is me, Danny. Now I'm going to create what I need for myself. I don't have to look back at
I've
what's
been
gone
doing
before.
both at the same time.
Okay.
It has been immensely energy consuming, and I feel that it has a cost. Yeah, because I'm in several worlds at the same time, and and that is a skill, and I'm proud of it, and I'm proud of what I've done, but it is not for free, and what has suffered is my artistic life. Even though me, with the billion things I do, I am more productive than most people that I know in the artistic world, and I have done very well. But to be that I wish, that excellent level of excellence, level of performance, level of physically look. I recently lost 20 kilos. I have struggled with weight all my life because of overeating, due to anxiety, due to all these issues, you know? And it's like, oh, stop eating. You know, I have well, people tend to undermine issues, and which I'm saying is that this path, the path of truly going for it and being very open, it's a very lonely path.
Yes. And also, it's a lonely path because you are striving for excellence. Most people are quite satisfied with moderate, or little bits of being recognized. You're striving for excellence. So that's got to set you apart, I think, anyway, hasn't it? Because
Yes.
people who get to know you, particularly in your trade, might be your friends if they're really good friends, but many might also be jealous. Have you found that? Or not so much?
No, I don't find
Okay,
jealousy. I
good.
just find that they don't understand me. And I am profoundly bored with most people.
Right.
That sounds really arrogant. And I don't mean it in a bad way, in the sense that I love people. I'm an extrovert. I love being with people. I am the love of every party. I am a very good friend because I'm very aware of things. I don't do anything halfway. So, but when I'm trying to have a profound a deep conversation, someone, it's like when I'm having a conversation with someone, I decide what level I go. And no one, not no one, but few people I connect deeply with,
Yeah.
and uh, and that recognize me, and the whole, very kind of artistic, but also very kind of psychological language that everybody uses now. Are you being seen? Well, I don't feel seen because people that know me as an accountant just know me as an accountant. People that know me as a singer does not know me as a singer. People that know me personally with my family in my family business issues, because I've become a family business consultant sometimes, and I am a speaker in family business circles, where it's a different world, where you talk about generations, where you talk about management of multi-generational wealth and blah, 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 blah. They know me as someone different. And it's very, it's bewildering for people that I am more than the thing they see me as.
That's right. But it's also partly you are choosing, just as I have done too, actually, Danny, to reveal the side of me that is appropriate for talking to you right now, or appropriate to talking to a child, or appropriate to talking to a friend who's not anywhere involved in what I'm doing. So in a sense, we make a choice just to open that side of ourselves for that particular thing, because
there isn't enough time to tell you the whole lot.
I was just about to say that, like, the whole thing is bigger than Ben-Hur, right? So how could you possibly expose all of that? People would not be able to take it on.
Absolutely. Look, what we're talking about here is the age-old fight between form and content. So people look at my Instagram and they see a blessed life. And many people are unwilling to acknowledge that there is anything that is not blessed, because they need to believe it for their own reasons. And in that, it's understandable, it's social, it's human, it's what we are. I play the game. I put only the blessed parts of my life. It is part of being an artist to look like you have made it in order to make it. No one tells you this, right? And you have to portray that you are already it for people to follow you. So that is a game. It is how it is.
It's a game.
That is the game I play. But it is nonetheless, I get irked by being put in a box. But boxing is part of humanity, and I don't think it will ever end. As you just have to deal with it. It's just a very frustrating. And part of it is that they just don't know. Part of it is that I don't tell them. And part of it is incapacity to see beyond, you know? I tried my best to not box people, you know? Also, for example, the ethnic mix. In Australia, unfortunately, you are from South America and it's a box, right? So you're immediately...
As if there's only one South America.
Yeah, there's only one South America that includes Mexico, which is not even South America, it's in the South. First, that no one knows where the Caribbean is and what a Caribbean culture is. And also, by being South America, it's like you're monolithically ethnic, you know? So you are immediately non-white, and immediately you can't have any other mix. And every time I tell people, well, my family is Ukrainian and Spanish, people forget. It's like you can only fit into what their view of the world is. And that it's always been very, very frustrating.
But you know, it also forces you to grow, is my experience, right? Because I also am multi-ethnic, and I've also come from many different places. And then I'm married into another ethnicity, making it even more complicated. And it's like, well, you don't belong to any one group. So you actually kind of have to go higher than that to the group that I call humanity, you know, because it's like, you know, I don't belong any particular group either. But it's forced me to become okay with that, you know. I call myself a woman of the world, actually.
Because, me too. I'm a man of the world, and I'm a human.
Yeah, exactly. Also, that's what it forces you to do.
Yeah, I mean, that thing of you're none of them, but I also like to think that I am all of them.
I'm all of them, that's right. But they're all mixed into one, which means I don't belong to one group. I belong to all of them. So that puts me into a different group, which is kind of overseeing all of them, you know? It's a bit like you said, the humanity group, or...
Yeah, look, I'm a Spanish citizen and I vote in the Spanish elections and I'm very involved in politics. And when I am with and I was raised by my Spanish grandmother was very, very, very important to me. And I was the only grandchild for 10 years. And all of my grandmother's sisters, everyone else except her, had a genetic disorder and couldn't have kids.
Oh, wow.
I had a legion of very, very beautiful Spanish aunts, like that were like Liz Taylor, black hair, blue eyes, super well dressed, and they were very present in my life. So I also have that part, and when I'm in Spain, I feel at home, and I know about politics. So I go with my Spanish friends to vote, even though I don't have a Spanish accent. I can put it on, but I don't have it. But I also believe very, very strongly that if you want to be included, you insert yourself,
Yeah.
Because you include yourself, they include you.
Yeah.
So I go and say to my friend and I said, I'm a Spanish citizen and I know, and I vote in the election. So when you go vote, you tell me, And it's interesting because I feel that, they don't do it. Some of them already told me and include me immediately, but some don't, because there's an accent different that is so different that they just know that I have Spanish background, but don't consider me part of what, like someone that would go and vote, And many people would have a Spanish background and a Spanish citizenship and not be engaged, but I am, I know about politics. I know about politics of the state my grandmother is from. I know the politics of the country. I know which one. I know which cousins are voting for what, and I am, and so I'm in. So I am included also, So I think that's an important thing. Also it's to own it and to say, well, I'm very annoyed with many South American things, Venezuelan things that I don't like, but I am Venezuelan too. But that doesn't mean that you are these things, And the same thing I was having a conversation with a Ukrainian friend of mine, and I have many Ukrainian friends, and it's interesting because it feels that it cannot get further away, Latin America, from Ukraine, right? But I have an immense connection with them immediately, and they immediately have an immense connection with me. And I go and tell them, oh, what you're doing is so Eastern European that, you're a bambushka, and they laugh because they get that I get it. And and we all laugh about it, like, of course she's going to do this and this. My friend's having problems with her husband, and I said, oh, I bet your mother said, oh, money, stupid, And she's like, how do you know? And it's like, yeah, because I know how it works, And all of a sudden it's relatable. It's an experience that you had. And am I only, the thing is that I'm not only that, I'm also dancing bachata, and I speak Spanish. And I not only speak Spanish, I have a very Venezuelan accent, and that it's very, very Latin. So it's kind of, and that's not of my decision. It's just who I am. Yeah. So it's kind of, it's everything. For me, it was a big day when I go, I don't have to decide. I can be, I am everything, And, but it is, and I see it as a point of power, because by being very frozen in your thing, you're less connected with the experiences of others. And that's a key thing. You are limited. That's why migrants do well, because they see beyond the box of the country. And I feel the same with my Spanish friends here are constantly speaking about Spain like it's horrendous. And like, go and live in Venezuela that turned communist and there is no rule of law for a bit. And then you tell me, then you tell me what crazy is, and they're always very shocked, because if you're constantly comparing yourself to Switzerland, then obviously, but it is, and I said, it's a mentality. You have a tendency, this is cultural, you have a tendency to put down Spain all the time. It's a constant complaint, and it needs to end. You have to see the good. That mixed with a crazy passionate love for it.
That's right.
So it's kind of, but I can see it because I'm sufficiently outside, but they are not.
That's right.
And I think that...
and you're also outside Venezuela right now, so you probably get a different view of Venezuela because you're not right in the middle of it all the time. I know you visit, but you know, as soon as we have the distance, we get the bigger view, don't we? You know.
Absolutely. And I'm also Australian. And I say, whenever anyone asks me, where are you from? I'm Australian. And then when
Yeah.
they say, oh, but you have an accent, where are you? Oh, I'm Venezuela. But I've been here 26 years. All my experience is here.
Yeah.
And I choose to say that I'm Australian because I am. I'm an
Yes.
Australian citizen. And what else am I going to be if not Australian? And some people immediately get it and accept it and are fine, most people. But some people feel that you are only where you are born.
But they are people that have never been anywhere else, probably, other than.
Yes.
You
You
know,
have an accent, so
yeah, you must come
you
from
cannot
somewhere
be
else.
Australian, you know? And it's kind of, no, it's rare, but it's true.
Actually, you know, you live in Sydney, and that is an incredibly, and we lived in
Yeah.
Sydney for 20 years too. It's an incredibly multicultural centre. You know, it's like, you know,
Yes.
whenever I go to Sydney, there are people from everywhere, and they're all speaking in
Everywhere.
different languages and different accents, and it's normal there almost.
It is,
It's,
yes,
you know,
it is. Yeah. And look,
which is
most
one of
people
the
get
things
it
I love
when I
about
say it.
Sydney, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that too. And with my Australian friends, I include myself as well. The way I have included myself into everything is because I inherited from my dad's side. My grandfather was a politician, so I love politics. So I insert myself. So with my Australian friends, I speak, you know, if you really want to be in a culture, you speak politics, you know? And I go, oh, I don't like my member of parliament now. But I go, oh, I do not know. I think this should happen and we should change this. And where is Australia going with taxation? And then all of a sudden, again, you're in, you know? And I find it in the film industry, when I have spoken, I go, we should change this, and I have an accent. We should change this. We are a multicultural, blah, and people take me as Australian because I put myself in it.
Yes, that's
you know,
right.
like
You own
and
it. You own it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that is interesting. There's people that I know that have been here 20 years, and it's Australians referred to as outside them. And then, of course, then they will put you outside.
It's interesting considering all Australians have come from somewhere else, right? Except the Indigenous people, really. So, yeah.
Except the Indigenous people,
Yeah.
who are and then if you see it from their point of view, it's kind of like, what all this kind of
All these foreign people here. Yeah.
foreign people that then believe they're Australian too.
Yeah, exactly. And yet they're very generous, generally speaking, with us, I believe, more than
Yes, I
more
do
than
think
we
so
are
too.
with them.
Much more.
Yeah, that's
We come all from our own melange thing, and we are in our own story, and we come and put it on the top of their story, and yeah, I think overall, unfortunately, we are still very arrogant.
yeah.
Not only the Anglo-Saxon, everyone, all of the Europeans, all of the, because we all come, it's unusual. I've never met, say, someone that comes from another indigenous part of another country. Here, it seems to be that majority of people come from the mainstreams of their countries, Like, I'm sure there is, but I haven't met someone that's like, I don't know, indigenous Canadian that moved here, like, it's predominantly the mainstreams of whatever country you're from, and so therefore it's kind of like well, even myself, for me, the indigenous is kind of like, when I came here, I was dating a German girl that studied Aboriginal studies, and I completely did not get it. Now I get it.
Yeah.
But at the time, I completely did not get it, and I was kind of very right-wing view of, well, get on with it. What are you going to do? Reverse colonization. Like, life is this, and that's it. You can't go walkabout. And but it's not that simple.
No, it's not that simple. But look, that's the thing about youth, right?
Yes.
When we're young, we try to make everything simple. Everything's black and white. And as we get older, we notice all the different shades of grey and brown, and it's much more complex. So look, looking at what you're doing right now, Danny, it sounds like you've been through an amazing artistic career, and right now you are putting yourself out in music in particular. And this is a new venture, or you've been doing this for a while?
Been doing well. I've been singing professionally for years, but my first album was in 2015, and it was classical crossover. So we can officially say I've been working on it 10 years. Now, in urban pop, reggaeton, I've been 5 years.
Okay.
Now I feel happiest
Yes.
in this. So I found my
You found your place. Yeah.
Yeah, I found my place. Now, then you get into the world of what does that mean?
Yeah.
And how to get around. Thank God, funny enough, my multi-ethnicity has been a point of difference in my artistic career. And it's something that in Latin America people go, oh, wow.
Yes.
And
also,
I'm happy for that.
You know, your style of music right now, it's relatively new. And if you can become a creator in that, you can create how it goes, or
Yes.
you know, your place within that and develop from there, can't you, as well?
Yes.
So it's like having a plain painting board, and you can just create what you want on it. And I say it as if it's easy, and I know it's not, right?
It's fucking difficult.
That's right.
And that's when I think the most interesting thing about this, because another aspect of me is that I have had, you see, I have been studying very carefully where I put my energy. And because I have limited amounts of it, and I'm a human being with 24 hours. And, with my therapies, I do too much, and I have been cutting. And in that, I've realized something quite obvious, that I've been spending a lot of time healing, and that the healing itself is energy consuming.
Yes.
But a big aspect of my life is my spiritual connection.
Yes.
And I can tell you, the artistic world is the most confronting thing, because it will literally take a miracle for me to make it. Now, I believe I can have
and
that.
yet many people do make it. Not many, some people make it. It's a small percentage. Yeah.
It's small percentage that definitely worked it like there is no end, It's not random. The people, we all, well, I don't know if anyone knows, but in the entertainment industry, there is a rule that is, it's also because of the ability to hold an idea by the common person. When you make it, you simplify how you made it.
Yeah.
I got discovered, after fucking 20 years, But so it's not like you woke up one day. The typical story, like a modeling story. Oh yeah, not Cindy Crawford. What was the German Claudia Schiffer? Claudia Schiffer woke up one day, went down to get a coffee, and got spotted, and that's it.
Yeah.
No,
That's
she's probably modeled for 10 years. Yeah. Or like Santana, or what was it? It was Santana that said, it took me 20 years to be an overnight success. So, people don't want to know.
Yeah, that's
people
right.
don't want to know. And also, there is like a quiet conspiracy of, we need people to believe that any time it could happen to you.
Yes, yes, yes.
This is a normal person, just like you, that just, it happened. Now, having said that, a lot of work is needed to be able to take the right opportunities that many times are miraculous. And that it's in everyone's, if you try to strategize it, it won't happen.
No.
How would Madonna have strategized her place in the consciousness of the 80s, when she was talking about racism and all of this stuff, when she was basically having a crisis and finding herself, but that crisis happened to be the crisis of the time, and then clicked it, and then woof, it's not only talent, or not only the capacity to take attention, because that it's a capacity that if you don't have it, then don't be in this business. It is somehow, it belongs to the realm of the spiritual.
Yes. Yes.
But it is at the same time, well, I am very confronted by it, because it's like, okay, why haven't I had other opportunities? What have I done? What do I not give myself? What is my level of commitment? What is and it's just, and also obviously it's the path that perhaps your fantasy of it, another big topic of my mind. What is fantasy? What is reality? You know? And I think
they
for me,
mix together quite a lot, don't they? I mean,
yes.
we've got the past, we've got the present, and you can create the future as well to a
Yes.
large extent, right? So, yes, it's
Because in the fantasy, I have a deep fantasy that I keep trying to destroy, because I don't find it useful. It's the fantasy of that I will become famous. This is just what I do in between.
that's right. That's
The reality is that this is life.
yes.
Technically, I may never become famous, but I live as if I will, and it is. But at the same time, I feel I need it, And then I go, okay, well, let's not live as if I will.
Look,
And then I go like,
it sounds to me like you have a strong drive, or you
yes,
have a strong purpose, right? Same thing, right?
yes, yes,
Which is wonderful. But if
yes,
being on purpose or in purpose is a very fulfilling thing in itself, even though
yes,
it is got loads and loads and loads of walls and bars and jagged edges around it. It's your purpose, and it's as if somebody who's got such a strong drive, if you didn't follow it, by the end of your life, you'd hate yourself, for not having actually, followed that purpose, which was laid out quite strongly deep in your soul, actually. It's not even on the
yes. I agree.
surface, right?
Because it's definitely deep in my soul, and there is another aspect to this. So, for example, my close group of friends are predominantly a group of Australian Spanish, and all the Spanish girls got with Portuguese guys. So now we're all learning Portuguese, and we're all speaking. They speak Portuguese to us, and we speak Spanish back, and we're all both learning our own stuff. Well, they're all now in the process of they're settled. We don't party anymore. They all have partners, and they're all going to have babies, right? And it is quite interesting when you realize when someone does not have an artistic burning desire. When you don't have an artistic burning desire, then I can see how having a child and having a partner, it is the sole thing of the most important thing. Whilst for me, it was interesting because I was also looking for a partner. I am looking for a partner, but it's not the sole most important thing.
Yeah.
And that is a major difference. The sole most important thing continues to be my singing.
Yeah.
Closely, well, having said that, if I look at my actions and what I actually do, safety first, family issues second, burning desire third, partner fourth. So this is, when I see it this way as to analyzing, like as if I was a mathematician, how much of my energy goes into what aspect of life, and I'm in the process of moving family out or to a lesser priority, and I don't know whether I will ever be able to move safety. And by that, I have a broad sense of safety, because that includes the loss of fortune, and that I want to have a house, and therefore I have to work more and make more money, which then will sacrifice all of my artistic career. So I sit in a very tense point thing that gives me a lot of anxiety, which I try to do both. I try to make money for everything and have an artistic career. And the artistic career itself needs money, And at the same time, my life is passing. I'm 45. And even though I don't want to say that, it has no age. No, if I look old, it's like my friend told me, look, if you do it in your 60s, you'll be quaint. And so there is some reality to it.
Yes,
But I am now in the process of giving up that maybe I will never have a house. That I will never have. I have an apartment, but that the house of my dreams, it's not a mansion, it's just a 3-bedroom place with a garage. For me, a garage is like luxury. I've made it in life, in a place that I love, or where I can have space. I've lived 25 years in a 1-bedroom apartment. And obviously that's touched by the loss. I inherited a an apartment, a 400 square meter apartment overlooking a city in Valencia, my city, that it's spectacular, but I can't live in Venezuela. So, I mean, that may change in this life, but I have to give up. It feels like I have to give up a lot. And that is, I think, the life of an artist. I don't know anyone that hasn't been needed to give up.
Creating as an artist in whichever form you do does give you joy, doesn't it?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
that's what keeps you going, surely. You know, it's like if the actual act of creating, you know, your last album that you just did or your last song didn't give you joy, then what are you doing it for? You know.
Absolutely. And also it's interesting, another taboo, right, is that you do what you like and everything within it gives you joy. That's not true.
No, that's not true.
That is absolutely not true. So I can tell you exactly
juicy,
because I've been looking at
Yeah.
what gives me joy. Okay, I love dressing up. Love it. That I could do every day. And going to a red carpet event. And I would love to go and do inspirational speaking, you know, and look great, you know, and host, you know, that would be a dream, you know, but to reach to that level, we'll see. So that I love. I love preparing, drafting, creating, thinking about the style and the view and what I'm going to represent in a video. You know, I love that. I love creating the video, filming, the day you film it, the day I am the star, and I have a makeup artist, I have a director of photography, I had a photographer, I have the dancers, I have my choreography, I have what, you know, I love that. The preparation of the choreography with people, I love. Rehearsing the song alone in my house, I don't like it. It is an effort for me to go to the gym, even though I enjoy it after. And the discipline to another thing that is, I think, a taboo that everybody suffers from, that I think you probably suffer from, is that I think artists, the dream is so big and the burning desire so strong that it also makes you procrastinate and it paralyzes you. So I think that is the biggest taboo, because we are told by positive psychology and all the spiritual gurus, do what you love, very Mao, right? Very Confucius. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life, you know? No, within the doing what you love.
It doesn't work like that.
It's not like that, because I love singing, and I have something that it's very difficult to understand if you're not a singer. And the people that understand it most are opera singers. When you're an opera singer, you have an added benefit that when you rehearse, you bathe in your own sound because your sound is so big, right? And that is an incredible pleasure for me. And even though that is an incredible pleasure for me, I avoid rehearsing like the plague. You know, sometimes I have to take an anxiety pill to rehearse. You know, like, because it's like the going in for it might not be enough. What if it doesn't go well? I don't know what it is. It's just too much. It's too much emotion in one action, and it's overwhelming. So you avoid it. Then once
and yet, Danny, you do it, all right?
And yet
you do it. The same as you don't, you know, it sounds like you don't particularly like the gym that much, and yet you do it. So because you've got your eye on your dream or on your focus, we've got to travel these difficult paths to get there, don't we?
I know. I think that the thing that triggers me is, like, for example, my ex-girlfriend asked me, "Oh, but you love it. If I had all the time in the world, I would love going to the gym every day." You know, and I said, you just do it naturally because you love it. And I said, no, I mean, I don't know if you get it. I don't do anything that effortlessly. Everything is discipline.
Oh, okay.
Everything. You know? Now, I have to say, once I get rehearsing, the first 15 minutes is that, and then I love it. Yes. Then I love it. Then it's effortless. Then I go into grace. But can I go and say, oh, what an amazing day, I'm going to get to rehearse today? No, that never happens. Never. I have to, and then the same thing with the day of the show. I love the show. I love that I'm doing it, but I am freaked out by the show, and I don't sleep well, blah blah. And then once I'm in it and after, I love it.
Okay.
So it's and
So
that's very
you've already
typical.
studied your process, haven't you? You've already studied
Yeah,
that.
and it's typical. And you go on, if you look for this, Meryl Streep says she panics every time she gets a script and she avoids it and she goes and does yoga when she never does yoga and she goes running just to clean the house, everything to, but not read the script,
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's because it's not, it's a, and I hit myself, you're sabotaging myself. No, it means too much. So you freak out by the meaning of it,
Look, I mean,
but then when you do it, you start liking it.
Being an artist the way you are, Meryl Streep or singing or whatever, you're putting yourself out there, aren't you? So everybody looks, everybody listens. So it's not like doing something quietly by yourself. You really are standing in front of the world. So it's a big deal. Yeah, I get that.
It's very scary. That part it doesn't occur to me. The only time it plays is when I feel someone may not give me a job as an accountant because they didn't like a video, or they thought it was vulgar, or they just cannot reconcile. It happens a lot that that you can be a good accountant and sing. I mean, this is ridiculous. We laugh.
Look,
but
it's
there's
true,
people that
but
believe it.
but there's a lot of personal growth coaches, people like that, who believe you're only good at one thing and you should be doing one thing. And that, I believe, is nonsense, right? Talented people are usually good at many things and they do different things at different points of their life. And, and they actually are multifaceted, just like you've talked about. And like
It's
I am
like
too.
different views of one diamond.
That's right. That's right. That's
I
right.
think, look, when you said envy, I don't think, I don't know, maybe some people feel envy, but my overall feeling is not that
That's good.
I have felt envy. It's that I push people's buttons as to why they are not doing more.
Yes.
That for sure.
That's right. Yeah.
And the overwhelming thing is, and I get it all the time, by text, by message, by people telling me, by email, these exact words. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what happens is, for me, what it occurs is that you do very little. Like perhaps it's, now it is your choice,
But I think what you said before, Danny, is relevant. Some people put relationship at the top of their thing, or some people put recreation at the top of their list, or, it's a matter of our drive and our purpose and which way we place things, that's going to make all the difference. I mean, if somebody points to something I've got low on my list, no, I don't spend much time on that because that's not my main priority.
Like marine biology is not in my list.
Yeah,
not because I don't think it's interesting or anything. It's just that it's just that
not
I don't
there.
need.
Yeah,
and it's like people, I have many friends, of course, that are climate fighters, to save the climate. And I tell them straight, the climate, it's not my predominant concern. I worry more about mass migration because my country has 12 million people that are being abused in the path to wherever they're going. For me, starving children is a priority. I have a feeling for the environment, and I agree with you. But on that boat, I'm not going to kill myself.
You have to decide where you put your energy. Yeah, you're right.
I am more human life, like the same. I'm not a vegan freak. I may agree that that vegetarian, whatever, I agree, but I don't have the energy for that. I eat meat, and that's not my boat. That's not my path. That's not my divine.
Yeah.
It's not the path that God sent me to. And then, I have it very clear, yes, sure, I have no doubt it's warming up, but that doesn't take my sleep away.
So, Danny, how can people get to contact you with what you're doing? Do you have a website? Do you have, it sounds like you're on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. At the end of this, I will put it in the notes, but you can also say here on the pod how people can contact you or see what you're producing or buy your records or buy your music or whatever
Yes.
it is. Yeah.
Well, you can find me on everything as at Danny Pryp, which is DANNYPRYP. And I have a YouTube channel where I have all my videos. I am on Instagram. I have 2 Instagram accounts, one for fashion, one for mine. The mine has not many followers because I got hacked and I had to start over from 0, which still burns me. And I am on TikTok talking about artistic life and stuff. And I am also have a website with my same name. And I am my music. Now people don't buy it anymore. You just have to, in your subscription to any streaming service like Spotify and Apple Music or whatever, all of them. I'm on everything.
Okay.
And as Danny Pryp. And also, if you want to use my music for choreography on TikTok, I would love that. And if you want to use my music in your Instagram post, you can also look me up everywhere. And yeah,
Generous.
and that's
Very generous.
very easily findable.
Yeah, very generous. Thank you very much, Danny. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure. It seems that we could have a series of conversations.
We probably
It was
could.
lovely to speak to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Danny.
You're welcome.
You can find out more about me and what I offer at rapidcorehealing.com or contact me at yildiz@yildizsethi.com.